Okay, let's look at the fixtures for Gameweek 7 then and talk through some of these. That opening game, to me, could be another 0-0. We've been waiting for 0-0s to come along. We had, I think, 2 last week in Gameweek 6. To me, I look at that and think Palace are going to turn up and Hodgson's going to make it hard to break them down, and nothing I've seen from Wolves has convinced me they've got the tools to break any team down, unless our friend Traore, with his greasy arms, starts that game. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, low scoring for sure. I mean, how Traore still isn't starting, and you can say he's great off the bench, and you look at Wolves when they've scored, it's when he's come off the bench, and that, I mean, he just adds so much to their attack. It's crazy. I like Podence. I think he's clearly like one of their more talented players, but I wouldn't feel happy having him in my team.
Do you think Podence is dropped?
I don't see how he can be with Neto there, because I think he offers more than Neto does.
You've got it right down on Neto. Yeah, he got the goal recently, and he's looked okay. But you got a blind spot for him, or you really think he's awful? Because you've been saying to me he's an awful player. But
I don't think he's awful. But if you're asking me who I think the strongest front three for Wolves is, it's Podence, Jimenez, and Traore.
Right. Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. When and it surprised me that Podence is the one that's been going off first, but it's been working because they've been getting that goal. But you've got to wonder how long that's going to carry on for, because I mean, Jimenez created that kind of out of nothing in a really weird position for a striker to be in, sort of outside the penalty area like that when a corner comes in. Was it a free kick? So yeah, I don't know. I can't see Wolves getting loads of goals in that game. I think it's going to be a 1-0 Wolves, or my favourite scoreline, a 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I even think Palace could nick it. I really do. I think they've got enough to catch them on the break, and they're going to sit deep and frustrate. And yeah, I mean, we'll see if Podence. I'm thinking of not starting Podence in my team because I got a feeling there's a chance Traore could start.
Wow.
I don't want to see it, but I think it's a possibility. We've got to consider that Traore is going to start soon. And I don't have 100% confidence it's going to be Neto that's dropped anymore.
He strikes me as the exact kind of player that I wouldn't want to bench, because he's so capable of just
trying to get in here, aren't you? Trying to get in here now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't own him. That's the thing. Like, I think when you've got a player like that, and the same with like Reece James, I think you kind of have to play them because of what they're capable of doing. But yeah, they're not my type of player, because they would frustrate me too much.
Yeah,
they're going to start.
Fair enough. Sheffield United, Man City. That's difficult to call now, isn't it? I mean, you go to play Sheffield United, it's always going to be a tough game. Man City, ordinarily, you think would have far too much, but with Aguero out, De Bruyne's obviously back now, pulling the strings, but they're not the same side without a striker there, a recognised striker.
No.
And it's never an easy play. You don't see them going there and winning by a 2 or 3 goal margin, do you? No. I mean, you've got to think they're going to win. You've got to think they'll get the result. But I can only see a 1-0, maybe a 2-1.
But you didn't know what they do up front, because I think they played Ferran Torres, didn't they, up front in the Champions League.
And Foden's played a false 9 before this season.
Foden's there. Sterling, obviously, they've got that can do that. Yeah, I mean, it's just adding to the City lottery, isn't it? I mean, if I'm picking a player from City, I'm picking De Bruyne for sure. But I don't know if 11.5 is worth it, considering that we're not even sure if they can beat Sheffield United.
No, we're not.
Look at that game last season, or even the start of the season. You'd be thinking that's they'll come to win, like you say. I do like Foden. I think 6.6, 6.7 for Phil Foden. I say it every week, but he is someone who I think if you're happy to ride out the occasional like benching or the occasional 1 point or whatever, I think he's a player who offers probably the best value for the sub 7 million mark of all the players in the all attacking players. So I think if you've got him, I think you just have to hold him.
Yeah, and this is it. People getting frustrated with him, but he was a 6.5 asset, right? So you're not, you can't demand too much from him just because he plays for City. You can't be expecting he's going to turn into De Bruyne overnight in terms of output. So you're going to have it's rough for the smooth, quite literally, with him, isn't it?
He's a bit like Mahrez. I think a bit like Mahrez last season. Like, he's going to get you some double digits. He's going to get you some 1-pointers. He's going to be around. But Mahrez was like 8.5, 9 million. Foden's 6.5. You can do a lot worse than just sticking with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Burnley, Chelsea. Having seen Spurs struggle there, what do you think? I mean, you're going to go into that game with what? With Pulisic, but not Werner, probably, right?
Maybe I
Is
might
that
even
right?
go.
Am I warm?
I might go into it with three Chelsea.
Oh, right. I didn't see that coming. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I will probably lose Werner because I don't think this is a good game because I don't know if you know, but Burnley don't play a particularly like deep line. They actually do play a fairly high line, but I'm just not that impressed with Werner. No penalties, 9 million, drifting out to the left. It's just not ideal. So yeah, I think he probably will be gone. So it will probably just be the two Chelsea players.
But even so, do you think you'll get anything out of that game, Burnley?
I think clean sheet is pretty safe. Pulisic's got a hat trick last season, same fixture. So it could be a good game.
Warmed
for him.
up tonight with goal, didn't he?
Warmed up tonight, goal and assist, I think. Won the penalty as well. So yeah, I think it'll be a Chelsea win. I think maybe a 2-0.
Okay. Liverpool, West Ham. Now this is tricky because West Ham with Antonio are a very different team to West Ham without him. We don't know if he's out yet, but if that is confirmed before the weekend, suddenly you think, have West Ham got enough to cause Liverpool problems? Probably at set pieces, but outside of that, open play, you can't see it. Liverpool are going to score 2 or 3 goals, you've got to think, haven't you?
Yeah, but I can't see him keeping the clean sheet.
No.
Even Antonio-less or Antonio in, I'm afraid.
Oh dear, when will it come? It's really weird, like with Liverpool, with these 2 Liverpool defenders that I've got. Right? It just seems like, I wrote an article on Scout about 3 weeks ago, maybe less than that, where I said, well, I'm not budging. I'm definitely holding Robertson and Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
You can sell them if you like, but you're going to look a fool when you sell them, and I get the point. And then since then, what's happened is Alisson got injured.
I know. Right,
and then after that, I went, no, Alisson, it's all right. I can cope with just Adrian in goal. I'll ride that out. Van Dijk gets injured. Yeah, okay, that's a bit of a problem. Fabinho gets injured. It's like, what's going to happen? It's going to be like, well, Liverpool are being forced to increase the size of their goal for the West Ham game or something like that. I mean, what else needs to go?
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Everything's stacked against them in terms of keeping clean sheets. And poor Trent, who's trying his best to stay in my team, isn't probably going to have the opportunity to.
The whole defence has got injured apart from the 2 that you own.
Yeah.
Quite impressive, really.
Yeah, and suddenly they're crying for Dejan Lovren again.
I know.
How bizarre is that?
I know. He'd do a job, wouldn't he?
He would. So we don't know what Liverpool are going to have in defence for that game, whether Matip's going to be back. But if Antonio plays, that could be real problems for them. But from what I'm hearing on the grapevine, that he's not going to. So
I think Liverpool's shape is interesting because I know Granville tweeted today about, I think it was Granville, about Jota.
You sure it's Granville? Tactics.
So if they stick to a 4-2-3-1, then they've got Salah up front, so potentially makes him a better option. And then you've got Jota who comes in as a 6.3.
I don't know.
Forward.
I watched that game with Jota playing, and it worried me. Right, number one, Robertson and Trent didn't get forward enough, which hurt me personally. Number 2, Salah was wandering all over the place, and I kind of got used to seeing him out there on the right hand side and getting into those scenarios where he's got one-on-one with the full-back and he can go in or out, and whereas in that game against Sheffield United, I never knew where to look for Salah, and I didn't like that really. I like knowing where he's going to be, and I also think that system with the 3 up front has worked. It's one of the title, the Champions League, World Club. You throw Jota in there, suddenly you're breaking that up a bit, and I don't see the sense in that. I think it was just for the Sheffield United game, but Jota's, he's a good player. Maybe he can play his way into that team and they'll change the system. But I wasn't particularly enamoured with the fact that Jota played and played well.
No, nor am I. I'm just saying, if that is something that they continue with, and that is something that starts to look a bit better than it has done, then he might be someone to consider that we probably would never have considered when he's signed with. Well, he's definitely just going to be like a rotation pick. But if he does start at 6.3 for Liverpool, it is tempting. But I think it's going to be a 2-1 Liverpool, that match.
I reckon more. I think they're going to get 3 goals. I think they know they're going to have to score. I mean, 2's not enough, right? Because set pieces, a penalty. No. I mean, Liverpool, I think Klopp will go.
Not bad, though.
No, I know. No, but I think Liverpool will go into that game going, we need to score 3 goals. Against a team like West Ham, who have got some threat, definitely at set plays. we're going to need 3 goals to win this game. And I think most games now, Klopp's going to think we're going to need 3 goals, which is why I think Salah still looks the captain pick. We'll get to that later. Villa Southampton. Sorry.
They're incredible though. So just one more thing on West Ham. Just they are incredible, aren't they? I mean, they've had one kind of capitulation against Spurs in that kind of crazy 20 minutes, which they then recovered from. But other than that, I thought, like, you look at the fixtures they've had, you think in one of these games they're going to lose like 5 or 6-0. They just haven't in any of them.
But also the off-pitch stuff, like pre-season, I was like, well, how much can you read into this? But you think, well, that will affect the team. It will get to the manager, will get to the team. But no sign of that. No sign of it, really. And maybe it's helped. Maybe it's like, it's trench mentality. We will fight this and we'll show people. But, I mean, brilliant that they're there. And I'm, if Antonio is out, it doesn't put me off Bowen. I still think Bowen could be a good option in midfield. But I still think they'll concede against Liverpool. I just think it's a tide that very few teams would be able to defend off, and I don't think West Ham have got quite enough to stop Liverpool from scoring at least a couple. Villa Southampton, like I say, really tricky again, because I look at Grealish. I look at Grealish in every game and think he can return, but Southampton, because of that defensive form, make this a tough one to call again. Are you going to go 1-1? Because it looks that way.
No, I'm going to go with Villa win.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're gonna bounce back from that Leeds match. I think that would be really disappointing for a lot of them. Considering how well they've done at the start of the season. I think it'd be a good game, that one. Is it live, or have we got to pay?
I don't know. 12 o'clock. Who knows? I mean, I look at the kickoff times and days, and sometimes think you can tell now, but what's box office and what is, but you can't really. I mean, so I don't know. I don't think I'll be paying $14.95 for Villa Southampton, which is a shame, because I'd like to see Jack at every opportunity, but not this time.
Yeah, I think Villa will have a bit too much for Southampton. Okay. I think that's going to be I'll go for a number 2-1.
And Newcastle Everton. I mean, if Everton do go into that game, we know they're going to be without Dina. We know that Coleman's probably out as well, and Richarlison suspended too. Rodriguez an injured out at the moment. Should make it, I imagine. But it's not easy at Newcastle.
No, it's not. And if they're going to get a result, it's got to be now, because you're not going to play Everton at a better time than this all season.
I think Everton will struggle again.
Yeah,
I think that will be 1-1. I think that's a draw.
Yeah, 0-0, 1-1. I think.
God dear, it's another low-scoring week. Particularly when you look at Man United, Arsenal. Again, you look at that game, and that's going to be cagey. Arsenal going to turn up. Arteta's tactics are very much defensive. We should not be moved, and we'll try and catch on a break. Aubameyang, what's he got? 5 games without a goal for the first time
since signing the contract. He's given up. Yeah.
It's meant I haven't had to say Aubameyang for a while. Man United, don't know what we're going to get there, do we? I mean, the stats show that they're in terrible form, but they won tonight. As you said, they were 5-0 up at the time. Potential to click and knock 3 or 4 goals in, but is it going to happen against Arsenal? I don't see it.
Yeah, I think one of them are going to win.
No draw then.
I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think both teams are going to want it. Man United have now had that draw against Chelsea, and they kind of think, okay, we've stabilised, but we've had this good win in the Champions League now. They could push on for it, but I think that could potentially leave them a bit more open. So I think we're going to see more open game than we saw in the Chelsea United match. Arsenal are going to be hurting again from losing that Leicester game, because that'll be a game Arteta wouldn't have wanted to lose. If you're looking at top 4 and thinking maybe Leicester are a threat for that, losing that game isn't good. So yeah, I don't know. I think United are probably the slight favourites, so I'll go for United. But
we're waiting for City and United just to have that game where it makes us sit up and pay attention. United got the 4 goals at Newcastle, but then followed it with the Chelsea disappointment. We'll probably need to see United and City have a run of 2 or 3 games and score heavily in all of them before we start changing our team structure. But there's no doubt, Rashford, all his good work off the pitch, but he's also outstanding on it, is a player that will probably end up in both our teams at some point this season. If it's not going to be Rashford, it'll be Fernandes. I mean, you're mentioning Fernandes already. Is that like a De Bruyne? You're looking at him thinking it's only a matter of time before I need to get him?
100%.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at getting Kane in, one of the reasons I like the idea of getting Kane is because I see that as an easy switch for him to Fernandes when they've got West Brom at home. I mean, I think the run United have got after the Everton game in a few weeks' time looks great. And I think that's going to be a good chance. You're looking at points in the season to maybe get ahead of the curve, and to start differentiating your team from others. And I look at that run that United have got, and I'm thinking, that's going to be a good. Whether it be Fernandes or Rashford, then he'll be one of those. I'm just hoping that United don't go too mad before that, because then obviously you get all the people flocking back, and Fernandes could be 35-40% owned before you've even.
It doesn't take a lot for people to jump on United,
especially not United. No.
I mean, it's game week 9 onwards is the time you're talking about, and that looks to be the next time where there's a pivot in terms of the fixtures. And City and United look like they could come into the equation a lot more.
I mean, City have got Burnley and Fulham in quick succession.
Let's have a look. Let's bring the ticker up again. So it's game week 9 onwards. City have got Burnley and Fulham. Game week 10 and 11.
10 and 11.
And United have got West Brom in game week 9. 10 they've got Southampton away, West Ham away in game week 11, and then the Manchester sides play each other in game week 12. So it's a potential swing there, away from Spurs, away from one of Son or Kane, or even both maybe, to a United or City asset. And when we look at the captains in a bit, you'll see that there's a problem game week coming up where City players are definitely going to be wanted. Spurs Brighton. Now, you're not going to back Brighton here, despite the defensive data that we saw, and obviously we're both on Son. You're likely to be on Kane as well. You got to think the Spurs win then.
I can tell you exactly what's going to happen in that game. What will happen is Brighton will play brilliantly for 30 minutes, 35 minutes, and everyone will be saying Spurs are going to lose this. Brighton look absolutely fantastic,
and they might nick a goal as well.
They might nick a goal. Mope might have a one-on-one that he misses. It's going to be all Brighton, and it'll be like Spurs are finished. Mourinho's going to be sat, and then Brighton will just do something stupid, and it'll be someone you won't expect. It'll be Basuma might fall over in the centre of the park or something like that, and then Spurs will get a goal, and then they'll win 3-1.
Yeah, I was going to say 3-1 is the score that I like as well for this one.
That's what's going to happen. The mentality is not right with Brighton, and I can't see it changing against Spurs this week.
It's worrying for you as well, because I mean, a side that's playing good football with some nice players, if you're not careful, you are going to end up being dragged down again. Fulham West Brom. Wow, Fulham West Brom. I fancy West Brom. I like Grant. And I think both of them have strengthened. Loftus-Cheek coming in at Fulham. I like Lookman, who looks outstanding. Prospect 5 million. That's a player that is on my watch list as well, and he's done enough already in terms of stats to grab our attention. But it's Fulham, and he's going to have to do it on his own. And you look at West Brom, and they've got Pereira, but now they've got Grant, who was a good goal against Brighton. And I rated him in the Championship, and I actually think he's got the tools to do all right in the Premier League as well. And I think Bilic will get one over on Parker here. I think West Brom might nick it. That's my pick.
You talk about games that neither team wants to lose. That is the ultimate. That is like
it's a 6-pointer now, isn't
it? It really is. So I think that leads leans me towards a draw.
All right.
1-1. I hate saying 1-1 now.
Yeah, so
nil or 1-0.
Now Leeds Leicester.
Yeah, this won't be 1-1, I think.
No.
There's goals in this one.
It's a Leeds win, isn't it? For me. I mean, I think we're getting to a point now where I'm happy to hang my hat on Leeds and start predicting boldly. I think they win 2-0.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't think Leicester have got enough at the moment. I don't think they're showing enough in attacking terms. I mean, obviously Vardy's always going to be a threat. But I think Leeds, their intensity will be enough to win this game. And I mean, Bamford could come good again as well. Leicester obviously sound at the back, but I think Leeds will find a way through. So I'm going a home win and a clean sheet.
I'm going to back more goals in it. I think
Really?
Leeds probably do have a stronger chance, but I'm looking at these fixtures and thinking what games I think have the goals in. I think this one, I think it could be like a 3-2.
What? A Leicester game 3-2?
I'm going to back this one. Leeds 3-2. There you go.